Butch Erskine is, if you remember, was a guest with us, and we have talked to him on a number of occasions. He's the author of Hope for Survival, getting you prepared for disasters. Butch, how are you?
Sir, I am doing awesome. How are you? I'm
good, and I want to point, because somebody's going to take this way, so we'll preface it by saying this isn't nah, we were prepared and you weren't. This is more, there's going to be a next one of these, right? So this is an opportunity for people to kind of step back and review. And by the way, the last couple times you were with us, I think some people took advantage of your advice, didn't they?
Yes, sir. And we hope each day there's one more or more added to that list.
So, it's kind of hard to do it now, and we witness that with, you can't find toilet paper, can't find hand sanitizer. These are things you need, and you've outlined this. I mean, I don't know that we specifically did. I guess we specifically dealt with pandemic as well as everything else, I think, didn't we?
Yes, sir. We briefly spoke on pandemic. In preparedness, the thing with preparedness is we attempt to create a mindset and then get folks to lean forward so that it's an insurance policy. Basically, if you prepare with the mindset that anything can happen, not a specific thing, and then when that event does happen, you have the items that you're going to need, whether it's in this specifically the pandemic. We heard lots of news reports that preppers were running out and buying everything up. Well, actually, anyone who practices preparedness, they're the ones who already have what they need, and they're not the ones who are out rushing to buy all the stock off the shelves.
Good point. All right, so basically, let's talk about, because you can have a whole pantry full of stuff, or you can just have the basics, right? And the basics are what?
Food, water, shelter, and a way to protect your family. Whether you're protecting them from a home invasion or whether you're protecting them from an ice storm, you may be without electricity. Whatever the event may be, we have a responsibility to protect our home and our family, and that's to ensure we have water for them, we have food for them, we're keeping them out of the elements, and we're giving them the essentials. A lot of the other resources that you can obtain, they're great, but you have to have food and water.
Yeah. And look, I mean, hopefully the tap's not going to run out anytime soon, but that could have been, that can happen, right? I mean, that's kind of what that's for, right? And if you're in a municipality that's on top of things, you may be dealing with something like that for a day or two. But again, or if you live somewhere where you require electricity to get your water because you got to pump it, those are all things to be concerned about, right?
Yes, and we kind of we try to instill a mindset of one is none and two is one, meaning that you have tap water, but if you lose it, what's your backup plan? If you lose electricity, what's your backup plan to keep your family warm? To keep your family with heat, whether you have a fireplace or if you have nothing, do you have protective blankets to shield them, say, from water or shield them from cold? You may be in a vehicle that has an accident that's 20 degrees outside. Until you get rescued, how are you going to take care of your family?
Right. The one thing I got, and I guess this was on your last visit, it wasn't as much, not that we shouldn't be prepared at home and we should always have enough to at least last a couple of days. The thing that struck me was how many of us, and I now have a few items in my vehicle, you want things to help you in case you run off the road and nobody finds you for a couple of days. That's the one that struck me the most, was how many of us carry the basic items or if we had to survive in our car, particularly on a trip or something, and it's probably more out west, but you could be on a mountain road here and have the same thing happen, right?
Sure. And imagine if you're in an area where you go over an embankment and you don't have a cell phone signal, or in the vehicle rolling off the road, you lose your cell phone. and let's say there's a rescue to find you, if you're trapped in a vehicle for several days and they cannot find you and they cannot hear you yelling for help, what do you have that you may be able to signal them? Maybe a whistle. You can blow a whistle when you hear a voice and hope that they hear it. What if it's cold outside, and what if you're getting wet? If you have emergency Mylar blankets in your backpack that should be in your car or in your glove box, these are items that will help protect you and your family. Energy bars, bottled water. It's self-reliance. It's an insurance policy.
And it's a mindset, right?
Absolutely.
Can you hang for another segment? I'm guessing your phone's ringing and you're getting a little uptick from people wanting to find out more about your book as well. We'll let people find out about it. We've mentioned it, but we'll mention it again coming up. Butch Erskine, helping you stay prepared in a disaster. This one is good practice. Boy, is it ever. Butch Erskine is the author of Hope for Survival, Getting You Prepared for a Disaster, and yet here we are. I don't know that I want to be standing next to you in a thunderstorm because, the last time you were here, we had ice. You just reminded me of that. Wow.
True statement.
Yeah. All right. So, but we're talking all disasters, right? This is a good, it's funny how a dose of reality changes our, and a lot of this is a mindset, right? Like, no, I don't think I could have told you what an N95 mask is, but everybody knows now, because we become very aware of those kind of things, right?
That is correct. So, we talk about food, water, shelter, and security. So this event, this disaster, is labeled as a pandemic. So you have your food, water, shelter, and protection already in place because it's a mindset, and you want to be self-reliant. So we have a threat that's invisible, right? Where other disasters, we can see normally what the threat is. This one's invisible. So like today, the state of Alabama has 947 cases of the COVID-19 with 6 deaths. Mm-hmm. If you look back over about 3 weeks, maybe a month, we were at like 1 or 2. So you see how fast this invisible threat escalates, right? So you already have all the preparedness items that you need in your home. The thing you need to include now is social distancing. Well, one of the things we talk about in the book that we try to teach folks is when the alarm bell rings, you retract back to where you have your food, water, shelter, and security, and you separate yourself from the 90% roughly who are going to be the ones rushing out to buy the toilet paper, the last minute foods, and so forth. You're already set. So not only do you have what you need, this is an invisible threat, and anyone that may possibly have the COVID-19 without knowing it, you're also separating yourself from them. So you're already doing social distancing with that.
It was funny because you bring up something interesting because there are several places I don't want to be. Standing in line with a bunch of other people trying to buy an essential item, or standing in line with some other people who, like me, might think I'm sick because I want to get tested. I mean, it's just, right. If you can avoid those two, you want to try to do it, right?
Absolutely. You're basically part of a 5 to 10% group that is taking out an insurance policy on the essentials that you need most in life, and that is food, water, a place to shelter, and a way to protect it and protect your family.
Since we last talked, by the way, before we get too far, and I'll let you do it at the end too, where do people find the book? Because you're self-published, right?
Yes, sir. Folks can either go to my website at hopeforsurvival.com. You can order the book on there, or you can email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com.
All right.
Either place, you can get the book, and the book is it's $25, and then if I mail it to you, it's an additional $250 to mail it. And Depending where you're ordering from, I can normally get it to you in a day to 2 days. Mail may be running slow right now with what's going on.
I don't know. Sometimes the mail comes early and sometimes it's late. It kind of depends on who's got it in their hands, I guess. And there's another one. Somebody else touching my mail. You can take this to an extreme, right? All right. So since we've had you on a few times, we've talked, people have responded to this. You actually have heard from people who got the book and put a lot of this into practice. What are they telling you?
I actually have folks who have either been in my classes and they've read the book as well. And they've been emailing me over the last few weeks, and they're telling me, thank you, but how you laid it out for us in the classes and in your book is how it's taking place. There will be the initial fear-mongering. Everyone's going to run out and buy things, and because you trained us to go buy what we need to have to survive for X number of days, we were able to separate ourselves from this mad rush, so we're able to avoid it. And that's from family members. I have quite a few single ladies over the age of 60 who are doing preparedness on their own, and it's quite a chore for them. But they have that insurance policy that they can stay home and avoid being in contact with other individuals, and they can still, have food and water. It's a comfort level for them.
It's interesting because I was reading a story. I think HPD's having to get out there, and the state order is we're not as restrictive as New York. But, we have put in some guidelines, and I think they ended up, after the weekend or going into the weekend, closing 20 businesses until they took corrective measures. And I guess some were in that category. They shouldn't have been open at all. But this is it. I mean, I'll drive by. I'll be on the road, and I'll drive by, and people are just all gathered together. And I'm going, people, are you not getting this? There are some people that just still aren't quite grasping this is, you get close to somebody, you don't know where they've been, and you don't know where the people they've been with have been either. This is why people are washing things down every couple hours, right?
Correct. Social distancing, keeping your hands washed and clean. Don't touch your face. Avoid putting your hands near your face. There's a real simple test you can do real quick. Parents can do it with their children to kind of show why it's important to wash your hands. But fill a bowl full of water and put pepper in it.
Oh, yeah.
Put your hand down, put it down in the water, and watch the pepper stick to your hands. Then go wash and clean your hands. Wash them with good soapy water for 20 seconds. Put on some hand sanitizer and put it back in the water, and watch how the pepper goes in the opposite direction.
That's a great little exercise. I saw a video where a teacher had done that, and it was awesome. Yeah, that's a great thing to show your kids. Yeah.
And you show children these steps, and when the parent fails to do it, that child normally is going to speak up and say, "You forgot to do this."
Yeah, don't they though? Every
Absolutely.
time. So we shouldn't freak out about this. We're not having you on to freak people out. We're having you on to reinforce the fact that you need to be you need to develop this mindset, right?
Absolutely, because during this period we're going through right now, when articles I'm writing on my website and in YouTube on my YouTube channel. That's one of the things I always remind people. Stay grounded. Don't panic. If you have done these steps, you have no reason to panic because you are in control of yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let the media hype. Don't let the media hype drive you into a frenzy.
Yeah. And we're starting to see a little bit, but we certainly could see more. Look, we got to hang on to hope, right? I mean, hope is, and we're hearing some hopeful stories out there. The president's trying to give us hope, but he gets beat up for it. But we have, our governor's trying to give us hope. Our local officials are trying to give us hope. That's part of what we need to hang on to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of where the title of the book and everything I'm trying to do comes from is you've got to have hope. And you need to start that hope with yourself so then you can instill it in other people. People who are down and feel that they're overcome by events, give them hope.
All right, Butch, where do they find the book and where do they find you?
They can email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com, or they can visit my website at hopeforsurvival.com, or visit the YouTube channel, which is also hopeforsurvival.com.
All right.
I have a lot of training videos and so forth.
All right, Butch, good stuff. Hey, we appreciate it. Stay safe, my friend. Thanks for sharing.
You too. Be blessed, and thanks again.